everyone. Welcome to the first official episode of the Earnest Perspective. I'm joined once again by my very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Merrick Cipriani, at Merrick Cip on Twitter.
Wonderful. Did you hear that? Can you hear that? Did that work?
Yeah, I can hear that.
All right, man. He is
Sound
here with me once
FX.
again to discuss a film that has come out recently. Another film that both of us unanimously loved, as
Yep.
well as most people in the world seem to love it as well. Mad Max Fury Road. Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to do that for. 'Cause I could just get completely carried away with sound effects and everything.
Yeah.
So Mad Max Fury Road opened last weekend in the second place at the domestic box office with $45.4 million. Were you surprised by this when you found this out?
Uh, at first, yeah, but then after seeing I remember how big of a buzz Pitch Perfect got, so I'm not surprised that Pitch Perfect 2 dominated it domestically. But it is worth noting that Mad Max beat it internationally. So
Hmm. I think that's really cool because it's getting like unanimous praise.
oh
So
yeah.
I could see why people would be like, "Oh, this might be a movie to see." And I don't know about you, but it was a lot of old people in the theater when I saw it.
Yeah, when I saw it, it was a sold out crowd, mostly old
Hmm.
people, or relatively in their late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, okay. I was like talking like 60.
Oh, really?
Like there were like seniors. Like the crowd was mostly seniors.
I'm not that surprised. St. Catharines seems to have a very established
A
old,
healthy senior population.
yeah, and they like good movies that have huge critical acclaim,
That's
right?
true.
So,
They're probably the type that pay attention to like a Rotten Tomatoes score
oh,
more than
definitely.
like what their friends would say or what their children or grandchildren
Yeah.
would tell them to go see. So yeah, Pitch Perfect opened with 69.2, which wasn't that far off from Mad Max. But do you think Mad Max will continue to grow in the coming weeks? Because when you look at what's coming out next, you have like San Andreas and movies like that. So do you think Mad Max will get better with each weekend?
I think it's gonna keep going up until Jurassic World hits. Then it's gonna probably have a decline.
But yeah, I was looking at what's coming out next, and you have movies like Aloha and these movies that don't really cater to the same audience. So I
No.
think Mad Max is going to have a pretty good run. And then you have movies like Entourage, which while that's a pretty big deal for a lot of people, I don't think it will take away the thunder from Mad Max. I don't know.
No, I think Mad Max will still hold its own. Maybe not domestically, because Entourage seems to have a bigger fan base in North
True.
America, but internationally, it's still it. I know it came in number two this weekend, so it's still going to be dominating
It has
internationally.
global appeal for sure.
Oh yeah,
And because it's mostly it's not a dialogue heavy movie, so it can translate to pretty much any language
yeah, pretty much.
pretty effectively. So, Mad Max is the return for Australian auteur George Miller, and I don't think anyone would argue that he's not an auteur after this movie,
Oh, absolutely not.
for sure. Happy feet behind him. This is like the best thing he's done by far,
Oh yeah.
from what I've seen anyway. When Mad Max the first film came out in 1979, what was the climate for Australian independent movies like? Because you did an essay on this,
Ooh,
correct?
yes, yes, I did do an essay on that.
So where does
Uh,
George Miller fall into that movement?
well, he came in at just the right time of Australian exploitation. Pretty much, it was right before the tax incentive for Australia. So
Okay.
releasing the first Mad Max, they just broke a lot of Australian regulations because they just tried to get what they could. I know in the first one, every chase scene is filmed from a guy on the back of a motorcycle
Hmm.
going speeds that you're not supposed to be. So they broke a lot of rules just and
Were they just on regular roads, like not
yeah,
even
they just
close?
go on the back roads of Australia and just drive way over the limit.
You definitely get that vibe for that first movie that was very do it yourself, very independent.
Yeah, the first one's more of a it's more of a like a car chase movie than what it's become now.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah.
There were hints of action, but car
Heavy on the
crashing.
stunts. Cause I remember watching a documentary on it. Like there's every time that they'd show a flying body, that's like an actual body that they would like an actual stuntman going flying off said thing. And like he's kind of just kept the use of like live stunts throughout all four of them. So
Yeah. So what did the Road Warrior do differently from the first one? How did it up the ante?
oh well, as soon as it dropped the whole post-apocalyptic thing and like with the tax dollars that they had, they were able to like pretty much solidify themselves in like Australian cinema. Like the amount of stunts that were done in that movie is insane. The amount of crap they were able to pull off in that movie was
Mhm.
insane. It, it not only does it make like the Australian outback look nice, like everything in that whole thing is practical. There's not a single because there was no CGI back
Yeah.
then. Well, there's nothing huge, but it was completely practical, and that's what was amazing about it, and that's why like, I'm pretty sure it holds at 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Nice.
I believe Roger Ebert gave it like a 4 out of 4 back then.
So I've heard mixed things about Beyond Thunderdome. Is it true that it wasn't originally a Mad Max movie?
It seems like that up until the second half, because like once it hits the second half, it kind of just like becomes Mad Max the babysitter. 'Cause
Okay.
he's like trying to like save these like kids
Yeah.
from like this town called Bartertown or whatever. But like the first half of that movie, like when they actually fight in the Thunderdome, that's some of the best like practical action like fight scene I've ever seen.
Okay.
It
Awesome.
was unique. Like I know like Roger Ebert gave it a 5 out of 5, but like the whole second act of that movie is just that's where I lose.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you rank the three? What's the best of the best?
Oh, Road Warrior by far. It definitely goes Road Warrior, Mad Max, and then Beyond Thunderdome.
Okay. And then adding Fury Road, where does that fall for you?
I still go Road Warrior and then Fury Road, only because the story in Road Warrior is a lot more simple. It's not like
Okay.
you can't really get confused by what's going on. Whereas
Yeah,
Fury Road, the person I saw it with, he got confused with what was going on, and I understand he wasn't a fan of the Mad Max series as I was.
that's true. That's true.
So like for plot wise, I'd give it to Road Warrior, but like stunt wise, oh my God, Fury Road is an achievement itself.
Unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get right into Fury Road review right now.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
What's your name?
We're basically going to go right into spoilers because why not? If you haven't seen the movie by now, go see it and then listen to this if you
Yeah.
really care that much.
Check it out tomorrow, cheap night.
True. Check it out on cheap night. That's what I saw it last week. So
Yeah.
I got my money's worth and then some. Like, it was ridiculous. So, what I love about this movie right off the bat is that we immediately know pretty much everything we need to know about this society through the visual means.
Yep.
So, it opens up. Max is standing in the desert, and then, boom! Right away, we're in our first like action scene of the movie. Were you feeling that right off the bat?
Oh yeah, because I remember seeing that like they used that in the very first like teaser was just like the car takes off the injector or whatever, and
Yeah,
then there's just the empty space, and then in comes a flying car, which is a beautiful shot, and then the camera starts like panning up to follow it like as it was
yeah.
chase begins. Amazing.
So his car gets destroyed right off the bat. Was that heartbreaking for you to see?
Yeah, it's such a it means so much to the whole franchise, but like guarantee
Probably,
you we'll see it
probably
again.
George Miller's way of saying out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, but
Sort of thing.
the thing is, the way they've done the Mad Max movies is that they're all tales of Max.
Yeah,
So we'll see the car again in Wasteland when it happens, because it's definitely going to happen.
that's true. Because he doesn't really care about the continuity between movies, really.
No, they barely link together. I mean, like there's connections in Fury Road to like all three of them, but for the most part, they're kind of their
Yeah.
own standalone thing. They don't follow
I
no
think
continuity.
Wasteland will probably tie the most to Fury Road, like in continuity, if they're going
Yeah.
with this new like series. I love the opening of the movie. I love how
Oh
there's
yeah.
no Lord of the Rings style exposition at the beginning,
Yeah.
a Fellowship of the Ring, like summing up what's going on in the world, or there's no text explaining what's going on, which was really refreshing for me.
Yeah. And
We just get to see it.
if you want to make the continuity, like in Beyond Thunderdome, Mel Gibson grows his hair out. So when you see Tom Hardy with all that long hair, you can make the
Mhm.
like it just like picks off where Beyond Thunderdome would have ended. So
Okay, let's get into that really quickly. What did you think of Tom Hardy falling into this role?
I could not see anyone else doing it. I mean, I read the whole like Heath Ledger getting like could have got the role, which would
Yeah,
have been freaking awesome. But
yeah,
like to see Tom Hardy do it, like I no complaints. I love Tom Hardy. He's one of my favorite actors right now.
yeah. Not a great Australian accent, but I could let that go.
Yeah,
Because
I
nobody, unless they were actually Australian actors, nobody
yeah.
really had a great Australian accent.
That was one of my problems with the movie. Is that like we know it's like an Australian film, but like the only person that had an Australian
Did
accent was like
Furiosa even have one? No.
no, it was like one of the freaking the wives. She was like an
Okay.
Australian actress. That's why. But like
Okay.
for the
And then
most
there
part.
was the one guy from Insidious. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah,
Angus Sampson
yeah,
or something. He did obviously.
yeah. Well,
And then it was like just a few
native to
people.
Australia.
Yeah. All right. So we're thrown into this fully formed world in the middle of the action.
Yep.
I'm a-okay with that.
Yeah, I
So
love how they spend no time like trying to like if you bring in new fans, like they kind of just like throw you into the heart of the action, and hope you're just there for the ride.
yeah, and action movies nowadays are kind of getting longer and longer, which I'm confused with because they can still be just as effective in like 90 minutes or 100 minutes, and it's less money for them. But Mad Max Fury Road is a 2-hour gut punch. It didn't overstay its welcome. Like it wasn't 2 hours and 45 minutes like a Transformers or anything like that. So I got exactly what I needed in that time.
I completely agree.
In this world, a Morton Joe, the villain, he was great, by the way.
Oh yeah.
My one complaint is that he didn't get enough screen time.
No,
It would have been cool to learn more about him.
that's like the one thing I've learned though is that the main villains in every Mad Max movie never gets enough screen time.
Yeah.
Like Toe Cutter in the first one, uh, Humongous in the second one, and then I guess it'd be Tina Turner in the third one. She
Tina
kind
Turner as herself.
of. It's like the villains never really get that much screen time, but
Yeah.
I'm
But
not. I don't
man, he
complain.
was cool. He was
Yeah,
amazing.
he was.
So he holds this religious power over the people by supplying them with water, and that's how he maintains his power over these people, and they worship him like a god. So it's like we don't hear them say, "Oh, Morton Joe is our leader," blah blah blah. We just see he's got the water. They need the water. They love him, and that sets up essentially the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Him as this tyrannical, I guess you call him a warlord.
Yeah, essentially.
So yeah, the whole backstory is pretty much unpacked in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Which I dug. And then as soon as Max is captured and his hair is cut and whatnot, we meet Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron. What did you think of this character?
I felt like for a Mad Max movie, Furiosa got a lot of screen time.
Very true. And that's a huge complaint. But I was going to ask you, isn't that the thing about the Mad Max series? Is Mad Max kind of a vessel for someone else's story? I heard something like that.
Yeah, it seems for
Because
the
in the
most
first
part.
one, you could argue that Goose is a
Yeah.
major part, and Mad Max is kind of a starts out as kind of almost like a side character. So do you feel that because I'm not familiar with the whole series, but do you feel like he's often the vessel for another person's story? Is that how the series is going?
Essentially, it is because like for the first one, like you said with Goose, and the second one, it's him trying to like escort a city or outside, like out of their like town because they're being attacked by savages.
Yeah.
And then the third one is like him trying to transport kids like across the desert to some sanctuary.
Mhm.
So he's kind of like a vessel who's just like a plot device to drive the narrative.
Would you, because this is kind of Furiosa's story in a lot of ways.
But yeah, that's the thing. I I totally forgot like going into that. So it's like when I saw that much Furiosa, it's kind of just like, all right, well, are we gonna get more out of our leading man? Like,
Mhm. I wasn't totally bothered by it because I thought they worked well as a duo. And since Max is kind of a silent kind of guy, they kind of worked well
mhm.
together.
Well, that's the
So
thing. George Miller's never really been good with like dialogue, so he kind of tries to avoid
yeah.
it.
Well, wasn't the script was basically just like a bunch of panels of storyboard.
Yeah, it was the whole. There was no script. It was just complete
Exactly. So
storyboard, which is why like Tom Hardy lost his shit so many times on set because like he had no idea what he was doing.
yeah, you can tell Tom Hardy's a very like classical actor who needs like
Oh, he
the
definitely
script and
takes his
dialogue,
job super serious, which like it works.
which is cool. But he's down to play in this world, which is so awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, he already apologized to George Miller because like he had no idea what he could have envisioned, and it
Just
came
seeing
out.
it, he's like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
So Furiosa is heading in this. Did they call it a war rig?
Yeah.
I forget
War
all the
rig,
technical
tanker.
terms of these. Like everyone's name is so absurd and it's wonderful.
That's the beauty of it.
Like when the credits came up, I was like, I didn't know half of these people's names. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. So she's going to get fuel,
Yes.
but then she goes off the beaten path um, in an attempt to smuggle Immortan Joe's wives out of his citadel.
I guess you can call it Citadel. It's kind of its own like sanctuary. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know all these technical terms. If anyone knows, don't correct me, but I'm just going to talk out of my ass here for a little bit. So that's where the plot really kicks into gear, the main
Yep.
story, and then Max gets tangled up in it through a series of events, and they end up working together.
Yeah.
So I guess we can go into it as the chase ensues, because basically this is one big chase.
Yep.
The stunt. What was the standout stunt for you?
Standout stunt? Oh, I can't pick one.
Pick.
I
You can
honestly,
either pick this one.
I don't think I can because there's so many times in that theater where I just like my jaw dropped because like stuntman, you had to have died. There's like guys getting ran over.
Yeah.
Like I I was just blown by that. And like even I didn't think that the guy playing the freaking fire guitar was a legit thing
Yeah.
until like they got up and close with it. And I was like, oh my god, like the fact that that's like a practical thing,
That was
like
the coolest. He was like swinging
yeah,
there, and like the fire was controlled by a whammy bar on the thing.
yeah.
Like it was an actual instrument, and he would
I can't
play.
fully pick a stunt. Like it's just so
Yeah.
well done.
And I love how his guitar music kind of matched the mood of the scene.
Yeah, I feel like I always like I interpreted that he was like the like you know how people would go into war with like bands like and drummers doing their shit. I feel like he was like the battle cry, like just playing the huge
Yeah,
control where to flank or whatever because he couldn't see right, so he just like
exactly.
based
And yeah,
off.
the drums on the back too.
Yeah,
I saw it as that's their radio in the
yeah.
apocalypse.
I
Their
just took it as
music
like
for cruising.
that was if they're going into war like that was like their battle anthem,
Yeah,
which is cool. I guess.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
What did you think of Morton Joe's War Boys? They look creepy as fuck.
They looked really weird, but I'm not surprised. I mean, post-apocalyptic shit always looks so weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like seeing him just like covered in like white or whatever.
Yeah. I'm glad he
Whatever.
went to the nth degree with like the absurdity of the world.
Yeah.
Like he's always kind of done that from what I've seen.
Yep.
Like images of the Road Warrior and everything with like their like I don't know like sex gear. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what I saw in like stills in that one. But he always goes for it. And he goes like over the top.
It was like as soon as Road Warrior hit and like they really established like the world's gone to shit and like
Mm,
petro and water's like your two means of like survival,
yeah,
they really just like amped up the whole. It just really went hard with the whole
yeah.
post-apocalyptic stuff after that.
And I love how this world looked like absolute. It was beautiful, but you could tell the world had like there's no hope in this future.
Oh my God, yeah, it's just desolate wasteland. That's all it is.
Because Max has lost his family. We see like flashbacks of his daughter, like so. There's the tie back to the first one, and then
Was that even that? I didn't take that into consideration.
yeah, that was supposed to be his daughter at the
Okay,
beginning,
I
and she
kept
constantly. I didn't connect that either till after.
I kept just like being like that would have like 'cause there's also an old person you see, right? So I just
Yeah.
assumed that like the two of them or whatever was just like another envision of like Mad Max stories that happened, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
finally dealing with like PTSD being out in the freaking desert
Well,
for so
she
goddamn
did
long.
say daddy, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well
So
then
it's kind of
that
like the
makes
spirit of his daughter, I guess.
yeah, that makes a lot more sense then.
But yeah, either way, it was cool that he's pretty much lost everything and harkening back to his past, and Furiosa's lost her home. So
Yep.
everyone is basically at a loss. And Morton Joe has lost his wives, as horrible as that is to say, and they've kind of lost their dignity and agency um, in the world. So everyone's lost something. Oh, and Nux has lost. What has he lost?
Pretty much his mind, right? Like
He was
he's,
crazy. He was great.
he's
I was really surprised that he had more of a character. Like he seemed so over the top in like trailers or whatever.
I was like, I was digging his character up until like the whole like classic. Well, we need a love story, so and it's not going to be Mad Max and Furiosa, so they kind of
That's
like
true.
threw him with like one of the
I guess
wives.
that's one thing I could have done without in the movie.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's finding that hope in the hopeless.
I
It's
guess.
poetic in some way,
Well,
but I
he's
could have
supposed to
done
be like a
without it.
teenager, right? So
True.
just
So
hopelessly believing
hormones
the
and
warlord.
stuff, and she is looking probably looking for actual love
Oh yeah.
because she's not known that from Joe.
No, she's been locked away.
Yeah. So so it's a pretty fucked up world that they're living in. God damn, does George Miller make it look beautiful?
Have you
Then
seen what was it? Like the black and white trailer for it?
no, but I heard that
Oh,
George Miller wants to put a black and white version on the Blu-ray.
yeah. In the Blu-ray, like there's gonna be a black and white
Yeah.
version because
And he
like
said
when they
a silent version as well with just music,
I can't wait to
which would be fucking
buy that
great.
Blu-ray.
Like, yeah, to see it, like that's when you get your money's worth if you can watch it like three times and get three completely different experiences.
Yeah, 'cause, like the black and white trailer looks beautiful in that like the whole wasteland and the explosions. I can't wait.
Oh, it was just so amazing. And the nighttime scenes were
Oh my
stunning.
God. I just don't know how they film those. Like I'm
I was
so
I'm like, okay, can it just be night for the rest of the movie because it looks so cool?
yeah.
What was the most jaw-dropping moment? I know it's hard to pinpoint one, but what's the first one where your jaw just dropped and you were like,
Hmm.
I'm in for a ride here?
For right here. Trying to think. Because like as soon as oh no, freaking when he breaks out of that freaking he's getting his haircut or whatever and he just like loses it and takes off.
They chase through
Yeah,
the tunnels and
that's
everything.
I was locked into this movie because like that was a great scene. The editing
That
in
was
that
cool.
is so quick pace, like it's like fast
Mhm.
editing. Because I know George Miller said like no shot is like supposed to be longer than like 2 seconds, which is like insane.
Yep.
But, like it's that whole scene's edited so fast. It looks nice. It just like reminded me of like the whole fight scene like in the church in Kingsman, and like the editing
Yeah.
in that is just amazing.
And I like that it was an action scene without cars because I know like most of obviously it's about cars,
Yeah,
but it was cool to see like just a foot chase. It
yeah,
was pretty sweet. And if a bunch of war boys were coming after me, I'd probably shit my pants. That'd be the most terrifying thing ever.
yeah. And like
Felt
when
that claustrophobic kind of energy of
oh, and like
he has no
when
idea where he's going.
the final payoff, like when the stuntman jumps out into that, like there's who knows what's like at the bottom of or how tall this building is or whatever. But
Yeah.
like the way they show it from like the side angle is that like if this person looks like if they fall, they're probably gonna break a lot of bones in their body.
Yeah.
So just like the fact that that's like a practical thing that they pulled off, it's love it.
Yep. And George Miller gets action in the even like the chase scenes. Like nobody's invincible in
Oh
this
no,
world. Like everyone, like Max gets like he gets pretty messed up in this movie. He gets, what is it, an arrow to the face or something? Like he
yeah, it's like
gets,
to the like through the hand and then into
yeah,
the head. Yeah,
like he gets. There's a couple other parts I can't quite remember offhand, but he gets like he doesn't. He's not like, this isn't Furious 7 where they're just like flipping over hills and like they're all immortal. Like people are getting run
yeah.
over, people are getting blown up.
Plus, the thing, Mad Max always takes a shit kicking. Like the first one, more emotional because like his
Yeah.
wife and kid died, but like second one, oh my, his eyes like so shut in the Road Warrior because he's
Yeah.
taking such a shit kicking. Uh, he gets shot in the knee with like a harpoon in that one, or through the leg, through the door or whatever. Uh, Beyond
Mhm.
Thunderdome, he gets like the shit beat out of him. So like he constantly
He's
takes
a
shit kicking,
survivor, yeah.
which like it makes it more likable because like you could see this character isn't a god, but he knows how to survive in that
Yep.
apocalyptic area.
He's smart and he knows that he's got to team up with the right people at the right time. So the ending, and then we'll loop back around at some other things we enjoyed about the movie.
All right,
Just to kind of go through the plot here, the ending when they kill Immortan Joe in a beautiful ripping off of his face,
that was great.
which was insanely awesome. And then they
Uh,
showed him like
Mouthless.
the end, yeah.
I remember like in the theater, like, some guy's like, "Oh my god, he's lost his shit." It was awesome.
Where do you think the story is going to go from here? If Furiosa is going to be included in future movies or not, it's kind of up in the air
Uh,
at this point. But as Max kind of sneaks away into the crowd as they're celebrating their victory, they kind of give a look of a camaraderie there before he goes off into the sunset.
well, like
What do you think?
based off every Mad Max movie and how like they're not like content like community like
Yeah.
connected together, wouldn't be surprised if like the next one's just going to be like Tom Hardy in a different situation, and
Mhm.
like if Charlize Theron were to come back, I don't think she wouldn't be playing Furiosa. She'd probably be playing someone else because I know he's done
Oh,
that before, like in
yeah.
Road
He used
Warrior.
other actors for other things.
He's like same actor
Like
to
even
do
the villain, yeah, in
yeah
this one.
Morton Joe and Toe Cutter. Like he'll use same like actors to play different roles.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
I
But
also think he might go. This one might be connected because now that Mad Max has kind of gone mainstream, audiences might get confused if it doesn't tie directly into this movie.
that's true.
So I wouldn't be surprised either way.
But at the same time, like I could be okay with like with what happened with Furiosa. Like that's like the end of that narrative, and then
Yeah.
the story would pick up with him like after leaving, like sneaking out in the back, like in the crowd of people.
Yeah.
I'm okay with like just following him, and then he gets into another situation where he has to help said people.
Hmm. Would you
'Cause that's
be okay
essentially
with
what
a
he does.
Furiosa spin-off, which is what they're saying might
Well, that's what they tried to
be in
do
the cards?
originally, right? I know like he
Mhm.
tried to do like a Furiosa animated series, but like no one would pick it up. If they did that, I'd check it out. I mean, I'll check it out. The more Mad Max, the better.
Yeah, I loved the hell out of this movie, from beginning to end. I like the world, the stunts were amazing. There was the moment in the first night scene, I believe, where that guy who lost his eyes or whatever is like shooting those two guns
Oh yeah, like the
as he's
leader from like
shooting
Bullet Town or whatever.
the guns in every direction.
Yeah.
Moments like that, they're just so irreverent and hilarious that like George Miller gets what pleases audiences, or pleases me anyway. I can
There's
see a lot of people being alienated by this, but
yeah. In that scene or in that like sequence, there's one thing that like I was kind of pissed about that we didn't get to see is like when Max takes off and then
true.
and then he comes back as like a silhouette through this like the smog like, after just like killing these guys. I'm hoping that they filmed that scene and it's gonna be like a part of the Blu-ray
Because you
because
want to
like I
see Max
really wanted
fuck
to see.
some shit up, yeah.
I was like, oh shit, he's gonna go fuck these guys up. It's gonna be great. And then like he's gone
All right,
and it
we'll
shows
wait
him walk
here.
back. Yeah, I was like, oh god damn it! Like I maybe he did that like to like, you got your hopes up and just to let you down. But like
Sure.
I hope they've shot so much, so I hope that scene like is around or
Yeah.
something.
I was looking at like B-roll behind the scenes stuff, and it's just like 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 as hopefully like we want to be filmmakers one day. Like
Yeah.
imagining like coordinating all of that shit is like insane.
Well, like they
Like I
have
have no idea how he even fathomed that.
like the best stuntman in all of like Hollywood, I believe. I'm not sure what else he's worked on, but I know in Road Warrior he plays like the guy with the mohawk, Guy
Okay.
Norris. Could be. I'm gonna just check it. I think he's worked on like the Dark Knights and stuff as like a stunt
He's
coordinator.
the
I
stunt
have no.
coordinator.
Yeah, he's like head stunt coordinator, and like I think he's got a pretty good portfolio going for him.
It's damn impressive. They need an Oscar category for best stunt team
Abso-freaking-lutely.
because those guys risk their lives doing that shit.
He's working on Suicide Squad as like stunt coordinator.
God.
And
Everything I see from Suicide Squad, I'm starting to hate.
yeah, same. I hate it
Anyway,
more and more.
we'll keep superhero discussion out of this episode.
No, he's worked on like a bunch of like what looks like American kung fu movies as a stunt coordinator.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, it was the scene where they were swinging on those things and like picking Max up and like picking people up and like putting them on another thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't know what you call those things. That was the moment where I was like, okay, mad respect. Like already, obviously, I had mad respect the whole movie.
mhm.
I was like, that's just insane. And they're moving, like they're driving and doing that. And
I remember in an interview like Max said like or sorry Tom Hardy, I called him Max, said like he had to go like onto one of those poles like
yeah,
to film on top of that, and like he's afraid of heights. So like
oh shit.
the fact that he actually had to do that, like just throwing your main actor out of his comfort zone and stuff like that, and like he got strapped to the hood of the cars, like and they filmed him like driving with him, like
No
shit like
wonder he
that.
hated George Miller.
Oh yeah, like just
Yeah,
being
that was cool too when he was tied to the front.
yeah.
And there was this whole action scene where Max couldn't do
He
a
couldn't do
damn
anything.
thing.
He just had to stand there and watch.
Yeah, that mask was awesome.
Yeah.
Every moment of this movie is just over the top, amazing,
Oh yeah.
craziness. So I've made a new segment on the show.
Ooh.
It's called
Nice.
The Common Criticism. The Common Criticism. Where we're
Okay.
going to debunk the common criticism of the movie.
Okay.
So upon also saying that there's no plot, which there's clearly very much plot, it's just not spelled out for the audience.
hmm
The common criticism is that Mad Max is nothing but blatant feminist propaganda disguised as a testosterone-infused action movie. So let's give our thoughts on that.
I mean, I see. I can understand where people are coming from.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being a movie being feminist.
Yeah.
It's the propaganda part that I don't agree with. That it's propaganda has a negative connotation.
Yeah.
It's art. It's not propaganda. I
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't say that.
I know. Like in interview with Rosie, whatever Huntington or whatever,
Okay.
Jason Statham's wife. I know that like she said one of the lead writers on like the vagina monologues or whatever
Yeah, I heard about
was
this.
like was a part like in
A consultant,
a
yeah.
consultant, like a feminist consultant. So like I get it. Like I wouldn't call it propaganda, but it does have a huge feminist vibe to it. Which like whatever. I mean,
Yeah, just the fact that they treat the female characters equal to the male characters, I don't think that's a problem.
yeah, a lot of people like
People are genuinely pissed off about like Furiosa's prominence in the movie and
mhm.
the way Max is kind of pushed to the side. I don't
Which,
think that's anything. Yeah.
I get it at the same time, but like I would have liked to see Tom Hardy go more head to head against her, but because he kind of takes like a back seat to Charlize Theron, and like it kind of goes with like star power, I guess, because like Charlize Theron's been in the public eye a lot longer than frickin' Tom Hardy has.
And Tom Hardy has 3 more movies with this character, so
yeah,
there's definitely room for him to grow.
that's the thing. I mean, like I personally, I don't see Charlize Theron coming back. That's just I feel like that story's done, but like we're just gonna keep growing, and Tom Hardy's gonna keep growing into this character. We're gonna see more of it. This is just one Mad Max movie where he had to transport women across a desert. Like
So he'll be doing something else
the
in the
amount of
next.
the amount of stuff that's happened. He's had to transport a truck. He's had to just drive down a road. He's had to transport kids. Like it's always something.
Yeah,
So like, I wouldn't call it feminist propaganda, but it definitely has a feminist vibe.
yeah,
I wouldn't like say I'm not going to go see it. I mean, it's a great movie.
yeah. Like the people calling to boycott the movie is just
It's
utterly ridiculous. Like just
absolutely
enjoy it for what it is.
that movie is an achievement in blockbuster cinema.
Yeah,
Absolutely, what the biggest achievement in blockbuster cinema. Because if that's what you can do with practical effects, that much practical effects, I would love to see a superhero movie try to pull that off. It's impossible.
no, yeah, it would never happen. Like after seeing the Avengers, and we loved Age of Ultron,
Yep.
but the amount of CGI in that,
Yeah.
like nothing looked real.
Yeah. That's why it's so refreshing to see something so like real and naturalistic. Like the fact
Exactly.
that they built the sets that they got like they had to do reshoots half the time sets got destroyed from like sandstorms. Like
Yeah,
the dedication to that movie is just insane.
fuck. I can't imagine. All respect to George Miller.
Yeah.
Like what a guy. Like and he talked about like his love of like silent films because when he went to the drive-in, he'd often watch the movies silently. Like he gained a lot of perspective in like visual storytelling as opposed to like dialogue heavy stuff, which played to his strength of not being a fan of dialogue.
Yep.
That's also what I like about this movie is that yeah, it's definitely not a quotable movie. Like I don't think I remember one single line from the movie, but
Nope.
all the visuals of the movie are in my head for the rest of time.
Yeah. Like the
Like
only line I can remember from that movie is probably like what Valhalla means. So that's it.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Like that's it.
Oh, sorry. What a lovely day.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's the quotable line.
Because it's like it's on everything. It's on like the
Yeah,
poster.
and that was a great moment talking about over the top.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just like these visuals. This movie will become iconic, if not like now, like
Oh
in
God.
in
Yeah,
5 years
absolutely.
from now,
I feel like
people will remember this movie.
I honestly I feel like we're gonna see it. We might see a change in action like blockbusters based off this film, because like if this is what they're able to do, like
I hope so.
cinematically, people do the same stuff. Like
Yep.
you don't have to go CGI for everything.
Even something like The Raid, which is a lot of practical fighting,
Yeah.
and then this, which is a lot of practical driving.
Which like I'm okay with that. More practical the better. It just comes off more naturalistic, more realistic. You're able to buy into what's happening. You're
Yeah.
more blown. I feel like you're more blown away by like what takes place.
And I'd rather it look real than, like people say, oh, but practical effects are very limiting. Well, that's why you have to be more creative in ways to pull them off.
Yeah.
Like by using just a large desert, like they're able to coordinate these stunts. Like obviously you're not going to be able to do this in like a city street like this
Oh,
much
absolutely.
practical stunts, but if it serves the story and you can like find a way to maneuver around it,
Hmm.
then it's like why would you not?
Yeah. So if you can get your setting, you could pretty much pull off any practical stunt you want.
The right director, and the right story. Yeah, practical's the way to go for sure.
100%.
I'm hoping Star Wars is mostly practical.
Isn't that what
It looks like
JJ has said? Is that
they
there's a lot
definitely
more
strive
practicals?
for practical.
I'm
So
A-okay with that.
hopefully that is where that series is going as well after the prequels,
Hmm.
because we all know that those were not well received as far as their
Nope.
reliance on CGI and just movies in general. Like CGI, there will be a fatigue for CGI, just like there's a 3D fatigue. Like nobody really messes with that anymore.
Hmm.
George Miller himself said, "See the movie in 2D," because he probably had to do 3D to meet the studio demands, but he thinks it should be seen in 2D. So
I
that's
saw
how,
it. I saw it in 2D.
yeah, I saw it in 2D as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, 3D is great and all, just like CG, but it doesn't really enhance anything for me.
Hmm.
So I'm fine in 2D personally.
Yeah.
Mad Max, Fury Road, great. Screw you, people who boycott this movie for
Yeah.
bullshit reasons. You're
Biggest
dumb.
bullshit.
Uh, that's more enjoyment for us. We'll just keep enjoying it while you piss and moan about nonsense.
Yeah, like I mean, like what
Yeah.
blockbuster looks good this summer? Freaking Jurassic World looks like shit. So like,
Tomorrowland's been getting canned. Like,
Tomorrow's Land's been
I
getting
don't,
like
I don't want you to say I told you so, but
it. Oh man, I told
I'm
you
gonna
so.
review that next week with my brother. So we're gonna try to find the positives in that one. But
Yeah, it's getting slammed
yeah,
hard. And
this
like,
summer, I don't know. Even stuff like Ant-Man, I'm not that excited for. Like this was the like Avengers and Mad Max were like
yeah,
the
like
peak of the summer for me.
I'm not excited for anything else. I really don't think this summer. It's kind of sad. A bit like the more I hear about
It is
friggin'
pretty sad, actually. I can't even think like Fantastic Four I'm interested in.
the more I hear about Fantastic Four and like the troubles that happened on set and like the rumor of like that reshoots were done by Matthew Vaughn now, I don't even know how to like feel about that movie
Yeah.
because like it just seems like Josh Trank just came in there, fucked shit up literally, and then just walked out. Like,
Hopefully the indies will save the summer because I've heard good things about Me, Earl and the Dying Girl or something,
yeah, I've been hearing a lot
and
of good about that.
Dope, which are
Yeah.
both coming out in June.
Hmm.
So hopefully they get a release around here. And you're more likely to see them, but
It's true.
this is a
Well,
tiny ass market over here. So,
yeah,
but yeah, this is the peak of the blockbuster, guys. So
yeah,
I don't think anything will top this probably for the rest of the year. If anything, maybe Spectre or Star Wars, but as a blockbuster. But as a movie overall, this
yeah,
is a 10 out of 10 for me.
yeah. I went with like a 9 out of 10 just because like I personally hold Road Warriors 10 out of 10, but that's because the story in that's just simple to the point. Nothing's confusing. You could get confused in Fury Road, which I can understand a lot of new
Yeah,
audiences.
I needed to read. I read a lot about it afterwards,
Yeah, so like
but
I
yeah,
could see that. So best, not the best storytelling, but stunt wise, oh my God, best stunts to date.
yep, in a league of its own for
He,
sure.
I like how he did a throwback even to Exploitation, which he's originally from, with like those spiked cars from like the other village.
Okay, yeah.
Those cars are taken right from uh, Peter Weir's The Cars That Ate Paris, because the one
Okay.
car is like a full car just decorated in spikes from like 1974. And like the
Mhm.
fact that he just took that from Exploitation and threw it into Fury Road and just recycled it,
Yeah.
it's so good. I appreciate that type of usage.
One more question about the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, if the 98% is anything to go by, do you think Mad Max has any hope at Oscar nominations? Like major,
Major, if anything,
talking
probably
like director, picture,
uh
anything at all. I would
anything
love
at
it.
all. I think it probably like editing.
At least like visual effects, production design, and like
Yeah,
maybe cinematography or something like that.
it may be cinematography, but like I don't know
I I would love it to go big, man.
what's gonna happen because like the Revenant looks like that cinematography is coming out, and that's the fact that they're shooting with like natural lighting.
That's true.
Pretty much might as well lock up that freaking tree peat for Emmanuel. Uh, but like I
Man,
don't
he's
know.
got to share, man. He's got to share.
He does, but like he's signing on to some huge freaking movies and he's doing some great things.
True.
I
Who
don't
did
know.
the cinematography for this one?
I'm not sure.
I need to give credit to the guy because I need to find his name.
Give credit where it is due. I
Give
am
credit
not
where
sure.
it's due. We're just gonna read the whole cat or crew and give credit to everyone. All right.
All right.
Credit to George Miller, Doug Mitchell, George Miller. Oh shit, I read his name twice. Producers P.J. Votan, Brendan McCarthy, and Nico Lathoris, who wrote it with George Miller. Props to you guys. Music by Junkie XL, which was like I didn't remember the music a lot, but I guess that's a good thing
Yeah,
because
that's a
it
good
didn't
thing.
like pull me out of it. It kind of went with the imagery.
Yeah.
John Seal did the cinematography. You do you, John Seal.
Hmm.
Good man. Margaret Sixel edited the movie. Props to her.
Oh yeah.
It was a great, like the editing was, and it was seamless.
The amount of footage that they shot over the whole course of this movie,
Yeah.
the editors must have fucking hated George Miller. So like,
Like, what are
kudos to
we
them.
supposed to do with all this footage?
Like, because they shot so much with Tom Hardy. Like, kudos to them to put that together.
Well, that being said, 10 out of 10 from me, 9 out of 10 from Merrick. Needless to say, we loved Mad Max Fury Road. Quite a good gosh darn bit. I don't know if we're ever going to do a review again this year with such good things to say. I don't know what's going to happen.
Because, like, Jurassic
Insidious
World.
3 looks not that great also.
No.
I'm very worried. I don't know.
Worried about that. I'm worried about Jurassic World.
I'm going to try to check out Poltergeist next week, but I don't know if it even...
Yeah, I'm going to try and do the same. If not, I'll see it this week.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is the peak of the summer though right now.
Oh, it's
San Andreas looks pretty cool if The Rock can carry you.
It does, but I see it coming out with like a 50.
Probably.
Well, and like Aloha is going to be pure dog shit. So
next weekend is going to be rough. So maybe Mad Max can climb up there. All right, man. Is there anything you want to plug right now?
Go watch Fury Road. Just go watch it.
Plug Fury Road, man. It deserves your money. It deserves your eyes.
It does. It deserves so much more appraisal.
Yeah, this is one movie where I'm like, I'm fine with the praise. Like, Boyhood gets 99, and you're like, okay, that's whatever. But this one, it's like, goddamn, like, this freaking deserves it, man.
Yeah, like even if you don't like,
and it's being developed for so long.
Yeah, even if you don't like watching something, or like, sorry, not watch something. Even if you don't like, you know, if you like Transformers or whatever, because there's people who do like that. Just walk in there, turn your brain off, and then just be amazed by what they're doing because it's live. It's real. Like it's not no freaking.
There's no reason to be like, oh, Transformers sucks, and then be like, oh, Mad Max sucks. It has no story. Well, no, like, and definitely a lot more thought went into this than something like Transformers. So you know,
like if you like, you know, like turn your brain off, just go in there, just turn it off, and then just like be amazed. That's sometimes you gotta go to movies like that.
And then read a plot synopsis afterwards, which is what and I was fine. I connected all the dots. It was perfect.
Even then, like you're gonna be entertained by those stunts. Like the frickin' like the first act to the second act, like the whole movie is entertaining from beginning to end. Like you're gonna be entertained regardless. Even if you don't like the story, you're gonna like the action.
Yeah, exactly. So calm down. It's not propaganda. It's just an action movie. It's fun. It's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So thanks for joining me, man.
No problem.
I love talking about movies. I needed to sit down and talk because it's been a week since I've seen it, so it was just good to get
it all out. Get it out
of the saw Avengers twice more since we last talked.
Jeez.
I'm messed up in the head.
Fiend in that movie.
Some people offered to go to the drive-in the other night, and they wanted to see Avengers, and I'm like, I've already seen it 4 times, so that was my final time. I'm done. But there's so many more movies coming out. I don't know. I want to at least try to see everything.
Yeah, I'm like throwing money everywhere.
I blew my load with the Avengers, so
that's the thing. I'm trying to see as many indies as possible. So. All
right, man. Where can they follow you on the internet?
Well, at Merrick Cip on everything. That's MERRICKCIP.
You got YouTube also? You gonna do more on YouTube, man?
I have no idea. I always say I'm going to, and then I never end up doing it.
Do some more reviews, man.
I should. I really should.
Why not? There's no harm.
I know. I always say I'm going to, and then I just totally forget to. Maybe I will.
Either way.
I'm going to see a movie tonight. Maybe I will think up a review, get back into the game.
Man, do it, man. I'll promote you as much as I can. I don't have the biggest fan base in the world. I'll try. Maybe rant about it if it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what's in
it. New asshole.
Maybe we'll do Insidious Chapter 3.
Oh yeah,
we can do we can do the trilogy. Maybe review the whole trilogy. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, they're all fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I'll probably marathon them before I go see. I haven't seen the first one in a while. I watched the second one recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, what movie are you seeing tonight?
I'm checking out Pitch Perfect 2 finally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably do a double feature next week.
Okay.
Pitch Perfect and Poltergeist. Cheap night.
Yeah, I plan to see Poltergeist. I might go tomorrow, or at least by the end of the week I want to see it.
Yeah. What about Tomorrowland? You seen that yet?
Nope, don't plan to.
Really? Okay.
Man, we saw I saw like a 10-minute IMAX like
Oh,
extra
okay.
extended clip when I saw Avengers.
I like
Not
that trailer with the bathtub and the house where
you
they're
saw
escaping the house. That was
like
cool.
in the extended clip you see like that whole sequence like play out.
Okay.
I'm not checking that movie out at all.
Well then.
It just
All
looks
right.
like it's gonna fall on its face. So and
Probably.
the reviews are
Definitely
kind of
not.
there.
Probably not a franchise there.
Oh, definitely not. The
They
reviews.
might have another John Carter on their hands or Lone Ranger. I hope it doesn't flop
Oh
for
yeah,
Brad Bird's sake, but well, we all have a misfire.
that's true.
You can't make all great movies.
Yeah, Happy Feet 2 was George Miller. So
I didn't even like the first Happy Feet either, to be honest. I don't know why that won an Oscar, but all right, man. Enjoy Pitch Perfect 2.
I shall.
And I don't even know if I'll see that one. Anyway, don't let the songs get in your head. Oh, you should like Anna Kendrick, don't you?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. You're crushing on Rebel Wilson hard.
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
Australian, represent.
Yeah,
She should be in the wasteland.
she should be in the wasteland.
That'd be great.
They want to turn into like
We need more
comedy.
Australian talent. There's plenty of Australian talent. We don't need
there is.
Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron taking up parts for
one
freaking
thing
Zoe Kravitz can get in the movie, but not an Australian like Rebel Wilson.
The worst thing is that like Charlize Theron has like a South African accent that she can use. So like, and that's kind of close to the Australian one.
True.
Just
True.
nowhere to be found.
Follow the Earnest Perspective. We're on SoundCloud and Twitter as well.
Yeah.
All that will be in the description. I'll put your Twitter in the description as well. So
All right.
if anyone is interested in checking us out, that's where we be. All right, man. Thanks for joining me.
No problem.
And
Thanks for
everyone, thanks for listening. If you're listening, the last episode's got like 60 views, so
Not bad.
that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll continue to grow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured this was a pretty good discussion. I thought this one definitely flowed better than the last one.
Yeah. You know, the last one was just like
Structured.
get a lot more structure.
All right.
Oh.
Talk to you later, man.
Yeah. Take it easy.
See ya, man. Peace.
See ya. Peace.